Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here basically are discussing another topic that is city creation. City creation basically are discussing another topic that is future creation SBI account and India account and Amazon account and after 2 days basically the big earthquake is going to come to India. That is the topic basically which we are discussing. In this basically we are discussing about the power touching basically. That is the power basically which is coming from the land basically for the software company. So one of the person told that Microsoft creation, SAP creation, it has not happened automatically. The creation basically which happens, that is not happening automatically. That is not happening automatically. It's a planned basically. So Microsoft creation basically is a plan. So one person told that you basically previously told that Microsoft equal to set of energies, and set of energies basically are placed at set of place. One example we have discussed, that is 1 crore people basically are giving the energy to that 1,000 buildings in Bangalore city basically. So that Bangalore city is getting the power supply and the energy so that basically the earthquake doesn't happen, and their energy also basically should remain same basically as they want their energy. For that basically Microsoft is setting the environment. They basically got the contract to set the environment to that 1,000 buildings. In that environment basically one of the environment is earthquake is not supposed to happen. So Microsoft told that basically for this I have used 1 crore energy basically. That are the 1 crore resources of Microsoft Group basically. Who actually Microsoft is investing the money basically. According to that only, we have to access that. So he basically told that in 1,000 building basically if MBA people basically are staying, then basically he's giving the MBA energy. If doctors are staying, then basically he's giving the doctors energy. That is the ideas basically. You can say. On the base of that, group basically can think up to the perfect level basically. That basically we have already discussed. So here thing is what basically Microsoft basically is setting the environment to 1,000 building. Microsoft has created from that lava data. That lava data, that is a sand basically, which is dumped into the Canada basically. That we have already discussed basically how basically each and everything. So one person told that Canada land basically is having the power supply of Microsoft. So Microsoft idea basically generated from that Canada land, and land basically is created by some group. That is the chemical group basically, who's basically telling that basically we are basically behind the Microsoft creation. We are behind the SAP creation. So the chain basically is the people who is telling that we have created Microsoft lava. That is the sand. That is the power. That is the ideas. Idea group basically are telling that basically we are giving the idea to Microsoft group basically, and on the base of Microsoft he created his own creation basically. That is a set of group basically. So Microsoft energy basically is telling that, so he created the Microsoft group. He is telling that basically this is my group. On the base of this group basically 1,000 building, 1,000 city basically has created. That is one source basically. Another source is that power source basically. Who is the group basically? That is the Canada group basically, who is giving power to that 1,000 cities. That 1,000 cities created by Microsoft. So Microsoft idea basically is now getting from what? Where basically? From that 1,000 building. So Microsoft group basically is getting idea from where? 1,000 building. But Microsoft is getting idea from where? That lava data. So this is the difference between owner and employees. Employees basically gets power from that 1,000 cities, but owner basically gets data from that lava data, which is created by set of chemical group basically. That is the chemical industry basically. That are basically you can say the formula group basically of the world energy basically. That is the world metrics basically. You can say in the world basically there are many metrics basically. In this one of the metrics is Microsoft. So Microsoft is getting idea from this data, and this idea basically is created from this chemical group, that is the matrix who created the sand of Microsoft. So one person basically asked the question: the sand creation group, that is the Microsoft creation group, basically periodically basically gives the ideas to that sand basically. That is also a question basically, right? That is also a question because idea keeps on changing. Basically. I will take one example. In software industry basically CRM project creation, basically there are more than 30 ways, more than 35 ways basically, more than 35 ways basically the CRM project can be created. And how basically 35 ways are created, for that basically I have uploaded more than 17 or 18 basically videos basically for that. You can check that video basically. That basically is very dangerous. That first CRM project basically launched into the market, how it launched, how the idea connected, each and every stuff basically is given in the video basically. So one person told that, yeah, basically that's very dangerous. So here the topic is what? Microsoft. And you can replace Microsoft with SAP also. And Salesforce is also basically there. Salesforce is also basically there. So one person told that each group basically has are getting data from Lava data. So here the question is, Microsoft is getting data from what? Where? From Lava. He is basically not getting data from that thousand cities. Thousand cities getting giving energy to Microsoft employees. But Microsoft owner basically is getting data from where? Lava data, which keeps on updating by the set of groups that are the Microsoft Land, Microsoft Sand, Microsoft Power, Microsoft Idea creation. And this basically everything is done. That is the main thing. So here one of the person told that Microsoft basically, if assume that basically Microsoft is producing potato or tomato. Just taking as an example, basically how it connects that basically you see. Microsoft told that basically he has created potato and tomato from his software basically. So that is basically one chemical data, or basically the another way he told that basically that is the seed also. So he basically gets, he basically start the production of seed basically. So that is the basically tomato and potato basically from the land basically. So here one of the person basically asked the question. Microsoft Energy basically is getting from that Microsoft Lava data. Microsoft employees basically are getting data from that thousand cities. So the potato and tomato basically creation should happen where basically? That to thousand cities, or basically to that lava data, or basically become there basically nobody is allowed basically. So from where basically he can produce that potato and tomato? So that is question basically. For this answer basically there are many answers basically. One person told that thousand city will be okay. One person told that basically other than thousand city will be okay. Whatever possibilities that need to check this. And mostly basically it's a Microsoft, so he might have done the R&D process. And R&D group basically never ends basically. R&D group basically never ends. In this previous example, basically I have given one example that 20,000 crore basically Microsoft can be saved. But in this basically R&D process will be always there basically, because R&D never stopped basically. If you created something, then basically R&D has to be all possibilities that are the R&Ds, na basically. R&Ds means what basically? All possibilities. All possibilities. So world is running on the basis of all possibilities only. World will not running. That also will be on the basis of all possibilities only. So negative and positive both are basically there. One company is running on the basis of certain employees. Company shut down on the basis of certain employees. So both side basically employees are there. Both side basically employees are there. So that depends upon the negative and positive energy. That depends upon the owner basically behavior with their employees basically. And nowadays basically the owner keeps the control of company basically. That basically how that also we have discussed in lots of topics. So one person will to run one company that is the CEO post, vice president post, and director post, working with company owner basically. It's not a easy task. Basically. To working with Microsoft owner basically, it's not a easy task. Why? Because his thinking is coming from that lava data, and he is connecting with his employee, main employee basically. So they are getting his energy basically. So see the chaining system you see basically. So the process basically is happening from his body. His body is giving the energy to his employees who are basically the main employees, and that main employees basically is giving the energy to the set of Microsoft energy. So Microsoft employees they basically keeps on visiting the companies basically. Otherwise they will how spread the energy basically. So that's very dangerous also. And positive and negative both side basically are there. So you have to think negative and positive both side. So one person basically asked the question. This everything basically most of thing basically we have discussed. But here one of the person told that basically the land basically is the main creation, but right basically land is the main creation. So on the base of land only basically the everything has created that if I say then it would be correct or wrong basically. It's 100% correct. City is created on the base of land. Army created on the base of city. But city was created on the base of land. So by default, army created on the base of land. Air Force created. Army group, military, each and every software companies, each and every industries, each and every sectors, each and every temples, each and every god place, each and every church, mosque, everything basically is created on the base of land. Basically. So whatever thing basically you see in this world basically, that is created on the base of sand energy, which is created by set of group basically. Because nothing happens automatically. Microsoft is created, Microsoft Sand is created by set of groups. SAP Sand is created on the base of set of groups. SAP has created thousand cities. Sorry, SAP is getting energy from that thousand cities. Microsoft is getting energy from the thousand cities. But Microsoft owner basically is getting from the owner is getting from the energy from that lava data, which is created by set of groups. So one person basically asked the question, yeah, basically where there's the admin department of Lava Group, where the admin department of the Lava creation groups and the entire industry basically that is the companies, everything basically the chemical creation group, where this it's here basically. In front of the world basically it's South Africa basically, right? But whatever in front of the world that is wrong basically that we have already discussed. So where this group sits here basically? Because they actually created the Microsoft Sand basically. Yeah. Microsoft Sand they have created. They have created Microsoft Sand. So Microsoft Sand basically they have created. So one person told that that's here basically a dangerous thing basically which has created basically. So one person told that each and every creation basically is created on the base of sand. So one person asked the question. Indian Army basically created on the base of what? Indian military basically created on the base of what? BJP created on the base of which sand? Congress created on the base of which sand? Aam Aadmi Party created on base sand on created on the base of which sand? Like this, all party, Basappa, Samajwadi Party, each and every party basically created their sand, that is lava, on the base of what? Lava created on the base of what? Lava creation on the base of what basically they have created. So one person told that creation basically is very dangerous thing. Basically. For that, basically many political parties are created. That this party is connected with this lava data only. They are supposed to concentrate on this lava data only. Congress is supposed to concentrate on this lava data only. BJP is supposed to concentrate on this lava data only. The Indian Army is supposed to get concentrate on this lava data only. The army group basically supposed to get concentrate on this lava data only. The Navy department, the army, the police department, the cyber industry, they only have to connect with the need to connect with only the lava data basically. And they basically can't connect with the lava data directly. For that, basically the groups are basically created. So one person told that in this world, basically whatever things basically are created, that is created on the base of lava data only. And that is actually not created automatically. That is the main thing basically. That is created by set of groups. Basically. Created by set of groups basically. So just a minute. So one person asked the question here, which group is created here basically? Because public will search basically. Lava created on the base of what basically? So they are going to reach up to what basically? They are going to reach up to South Africa basically. But whatever things basically are in front of the world that are wrong basically that we know basically. So to reach up to that level basically it is not possible basically. Because you don't have any source only basically. Then how you are going to reach here? That is the question basically. How you are going to reach to that data basically? That is question na, basically. Because if you are searching something, if you don't have any source and all the source basically are closed, then how basically you are going to find the solution basically? How you are going to find the solution basically? That is question basically. So one of the person told them that is very dangerous thing basically. Here basically we are discussing what here basically. One of the person told that here actually you are discussing what basically. Here actually we are discussing that on the basis of what basically the lava data is created. If any creation happens basically, that is created on the basis of set of source basically that everybody knows. Source is basically coming from set of groups, and that source is connected with the set of investment, and investment basically are coming with the finance department, banks department, and other group basically are there. In this basically the construction department is also there, and destroy department is also basically there. Destroy means that New York Stock Exchange basically. They have also collected the money basically, that is the 90,000 crore. They have collected the 90,000 crore, but that was destruction basically, destroy of the World Trade Center. For that, they have collected the money basically. Just see basically. And in that basically, the money was collected by one software basically, which was created by one of the Canadian person. That image basically I basically displayed that Canadian person image. And they basically give good post also basically. कि तू प्राइम मिनिस्टर बन जा, तू प्रेसिडेंट बन जा, तू चीफ मिनिस्टर बन जा. That means you take a post of chief minister, president, prime minister. Take a post of CEO, take a post of vice president, because you have done task up to that level with it. So you take the post. Just so you take the post of president, you take the post of prime minister, basically. But you take the post because it's a huge resource basically. So same way basically in this world, the lava creation is also done basically. Microsoft Sand is created, yeah, basically. And on the base of Microsoft Sand only, basically the Microsoft has created. Microsoft Idea created on the base of Microsoft Sand. So one person asked the question, all idea basically in this world basically they are getting SAP idea, Salesforce idea, C++ idea, C idea, binary software idea on the base of the C++ and C created, then Java idea. You are doing the programming of Java, right? So how basically you are doing it? Basically? One person says that practice, practice, practice. But practice basically if you do, then basically how it connects to your body basically. Yeah, basically. How basically you remember this thing? That is basically the blood cells basically. That is the Java blood cells and Java idea basically gets connect to your body. And as the creation, as the time basically happens, your basically body becomes habit of the Java coding. Same way project manager basically. Manager basically keeps on planning, keeps on doing, keeps on creating tasks, this, that, each and every stuff basically keeps on creating the new creations, basically. Projects basically. Slowly basically it converts to habit. This everything basically is coming from where basically? They basically directly can't connect with the lava basically. They are connected with one software basically. That is a Microsoft basically. Or basically Java. It's coming from one land basically. So one of the person basically asked the question, ये Java basically कहाँ से आया? Java actually created from which land basically? Which land basically? From which land basically Java came basically? So there is no answer basically. Or there might be answer also because Java group basically are, it's more than I think 25-year old basically Java is. So Java must be having the answer that we are getting power supply from this area basically. Because they are supposed to basically get the information basically. They can ask the government basically. There is no issue basically. Because you are paying the tax to the government basically. So government will give you the data basically of that power basically on the basis of what basically you are generating the data basically. Ideas that are coming from that land basically. Because you have created the thousand cities on the base of power data, on the base of ideas, on the base of energy, on the base of sand. But you don't know that basically this thousand city which is created, that is also getting power basically from one area basically. The Java owner basically will get the power from that directly from the land basically. But the employees basically can't get. Why? Because they are employee. So this is the major difference owner and employee basically. So lots of people say that what is difference basically? Yeah, one is money basically. One is money basically. Owner is having and the company employee is having. One difference is the ideas basically which they are getting. One owner basically is Java owner basically is getting idea from where? That land directly basically. But employees basically are getting ideas from where? From thousand cities and from Java owner. So both side basically are there basically. Because Java company owner basically will explain the employees basically little bit plan basically. But that plan basically they can understand fully basically. He has written something basically in Word, in PowerPoint, in WordPress, in any basically topic basically he has written something basically. But to understand that basically they have to sit to computer. They basically will read the data, the read the data and read the documents, each and every stuff basically they will do. And then basically it connects to that thousand cities to understand up to the owner level basically what owner basically has told. What actually owner basically has told, that idea will be getting from that thousand cities. That is the main thing basically. They will not understand the each and every stuff basically just within 1 or 2 days basically. They need to keeps on reading that agenda of the company owner basically, the policy of the company owner, the projects basically of he's going to do of the for the company basically. Here basically I have taken the example of Java and Microsoft, Salesforce, SAP, all basically are there. PHP is there, Python is there basically, C, C++, D2K, Visual Basic, .NET, everything basically is there. Microsoft basically comes, .NET everything basically comes into the Microsoft. Oracle is there. Lots of people say तो Oracle में तो क्या करने का यार? Select star from this. Few basically space you have to allocate. This, that, each and everything. Sometimes basically you have to take the backup. But you should basically very accurate basically. You have to do everything basically perfectly basically. For that basically Oracle energy is required. Oracle basically creates his Oracle has thousand cities basically. Here basically I have taken the example of thousand cities basically. But real basically it can be any number. So you can just imagine basically up to what level the creation is done. Just a minute. So one person told that ये क्या है यार basically. This very dangerous thing basically, very new thing basically which we discussed just now basically in this video basically. We actually never thought up to this level Sunil basically. One of the person basically asked the question. Here Microsoft basically have a rights basically to uh, see that land basically from where basically he's getting the idea. So he should have a rights basically. But that depends on because he can't purchase that land basically. One person told that one person basically asked the question. In this world basically you can purchase the land permanently. That is basically very interesting question basically. That is not possible. You can't purchase a land basically in this world basically permanently. After certain time basically you have to leave that land basically. Why? Because the rule basically says like that. You will take that land for 200 years, 300 years, 500 years. After that certain time basically you have to leave. You have to take some other step basically. But very few people basically are there who take the ownership basically. But that basically very few are basically there. They are very powerful. That group basically has done up to that level task basically they directly connected with the universe. Basically. The universe group basically liked their energy. So that kind of people also basically are there. So they take gets basically power from directly from the satellite. But here basically we are discussing Microsoft basically is getting power from that land basically. So you can just imagine basically Microsoft creation basically. How the Microsoft Salesforce everything is created here basically. So somebody has created Microsoft idea basically. It's not like that basically Microsoft just created like that basically. That has created on the basis of certain level of ideas, which is basically dumped into that land basically. At that land basically that is the lava data which is created by set of groups basically. Here basically I had taken one example basically. 10 crore computers basically. Sorry, 10 crore software projects basically, which is created by Mumbai. In that Mumbai basically they told that basically from this 10 crore software you are going to generate this much chemical data, and that chemical data basically is going to convert to lava data, and that is going to dump into that particular area, and from that area basically 100 crore child process is going to happen after certain time basically. After certain time so you can just imagine it. So just So one person asked the question, yeah, basically we never got this information. We know that basically the power basically is coming from the land, from the water, and water is also connected with the land only. So by default, it's connected with the land. But so perfectly, basically, somebody has created that we have perfectly basically knowing today, basically. That Microsoft Energy, Microsoft Sand, Microsoft Idea, Microsoft Software is created from the Microsoft land. One person basically asked the question. From directly from that sand, basically, we will take some land and we will say that basically create Microsoft. That basically will happen because from sand only basically you are creating the Microsoft now, basically. But there basically the human basically are there. So one person basically asked the question, the chip creation, they are actually doing what basically? Somebody is basically creating chip basically for the human bodies. That whatever thing basically he's going to do now basically. That is only basically that person is going to do. That means he's going to do means whatever thing basically is going to write into that chip basically. That is only basically they are going to do. Same way the land basically is whatever telling basically that you have to do. Land is created by a set of group basically. That group is telling that basically we have designed a Microsoft up to this level basically. SAP up to this level. C++ up to this level. Pascal up to this level. Python up to this level. PHP up to this level. C++ up to this level. C up to this level. Java up to this level. That land basically is created. Java land is there basically. Java land is basically there. And Java land is giving the power supply basically. So one person basically asked the question, that area basically which is giving the power supply to the computers, there basically earthquake has not happened ever basically. Earthquake basically happens basically because that land basically keeps on getting update from that lava group basically who has actually created the lava data. If example something basically this is water basically, as in that basically something you are adding in this water, so it's going to get effect. No, basically it's not going to get effect. The entire water basically is going to get effect basically. So just a minute. So same way basically the lava basically data which is dumped of the Microsoft, Java, PHP, Python basically. They basically perfectly are basically dumped. How basically that is possible? Few people says that tectonic plates are there basically, but that is not correct basically. That is just in front of the world basically. But it's totally different. Whatever things are in front of the world publicly displayed na basically, that all are wrong basically. Something correct basically might be there. If you connect to that correct information, from that wrong information when you connect to the correct information, that time basically you connected to that group basically who actually has written that basically. There are many chain basically connected in that basically wrong thing, some right basically are also some truth basically are also written, and on the basis of that truth basically you will connect to that group basically who actually created that basically. So see the chaining system also you see, just a minute. So the chaining system also you see how the creation basically happens. So one person told that how dangerous basically the stuff is, and the person who is discussing everything basically, he is basically not getting the job basically. That is the main thing basically. So I am not getting the job, I am only basically discussing this everything. So just see the world basically how the world is created. The person basically who know everything basically, he is not getting the job. That is the main thing basically in world basically. That especially in India basically it's like that. The people who are intelligent, who are basically knowing everything basically, they basically never go. They basically can't earn the money basically. Good level of money basically they can't earn. They can't become CEO. They basically can't become director. They basically can't become vice president. So the creation of India is like this basically. The knowledgeable person basically never gets the opportunity. So that is the stuff basically. What we can do? We can't change the nature of, we can't change the culture of India basically. Because it's in land basically. What we can't do basically. That we can't do anything. So here basically, that is also basically one of the topic basically which has discussed. So one of the person told that Microsoft basically is getting data from that directly from that land. So he know that basically from this land basically is getting the data. He can reach up to power supply. Maximum he can reach up to new energy company. But up to nuclear data basically, by chance basically he invested lots of money. He reached to energy company, nuclear energy also. But he can reach to that land basically from where basically is getting the exact power supply of Microsoft. That is question. That is a question. He can at least basically sit to that land basically from where basically is actually getting the power supply of Microsoft. The PHP owner, the SAP owner, the Salesforce owner, they can basically sit to that place basically where basically from actually they are getting the ideas. Here talking about the real owners basically. There are dummy owner also basically created. I am talking about the real owner. So you can just imagine basically up to what level the creation has done. Basically. And this everything is done basically. That is the main thing basically. So one of the person told that the power supply chain basically is very dangerous thing basically. The power supply chain basically it's very dangerous. To create power supply chain basically how many hard work basically are done there. Microsoft Sand is created by some group basically. After that only with the Microsoft has created. You just imagine basically the stuff basically what I want to say. The Salesforce, the SAP, the PHP, Java, D2K, Visual Basic, .NET, everything basically is C++, Java, everything basically is created on the basis of sand data. And that is also perfectly organized. Yeah, that is the main thing basically. One land, there is only one land, 2 kilometer area. But it is organized in the that way basically. This is Microsoft, this is SAP, this is Salesforce, this is C++, this is Java. So one of the person told that क्या है यार ये basically, what is the creation basically. So after this video basically Microsoft told that basically I want to go to that land basically, but that is possible basically. He can reach up to nuclear basically, but if he have some power basically, then if we display something basically in front of the universe basically, see basically I have created this that basically, so then basically they can give the permission basically. But that is very dangerous thing because you are going to connect to the mainland basically, and that basically lots of people says that you can't purchase, actually you can't purchase the land in earth planet only basically. That is the main thing. Just a minute. And that has displayed in front of the world also in UAE basically. You can't purchase a land, so that is displayed basically. UAE is telling that basically in this world basically you can't purchase the land. That actually you want to UAE basically want to displace basically. That actually you want to say. So every creation basically in this world, that is telling something basically. In this purchasing land basically in UAE basically is telling that basically you can't purchase land basically in this world. You can purchase, you can get the ownership, but that land basically you have to give after certain time basically to someone basically. That basically few people says that it's a universal law. Few people says that the people who created the earth planet basically it's law of that group basically. So whatever thing basically it might be, but that's very understandable that you have to understand that stuff. And Bollywood everything basically displays everything basically. That is the rule of the Bollywood basically. Bollywood says that basically हमने तो सब बनाया है भाई. We have created everything basically. Just this lava stuff basically was left. That we have watched the video of Sunil R. Nair, and then basically we started the creation of that also. So in that basically, software company also basically is required. But software company basically gets the project after some time basically. Why? First Bollywood group basically do all the R&Ds, creates movies, serials, stuff. After that basically the projects generates from that entire creation which is done in the base of the live environment basically. Movie creation is done on the base of live environment. People watches the movie in theater. The theater group basically gets the idea. They basically connects with the ideas according to the movie. So lots of stuff basically are there. On the base of that basically they creates converts with ideas. They basically generates this discussion, that discussion, those discussion. On the base of discussion basically they say that basically we want this data, those data, that data. So that basically is the requirement of software industry. So that is the idea basically which Bollywood generates. So just see how the software industry basically gets the project basically. You can't able to believe it basically. How the hard work the Bollywood groups are doing it basically. They have done basically in Mumbai basically. Hard work basically they have done. So just a minute. So one person told that that is very dangerous thing which we are discussing. So one person told that through SMS basically you can damage anyone's body parts. That is possible. You can't believe it basically. You can damage the body parts from the SMS also basically. Up to that level technology has reached. But that is basically negative impact basically is going to affect. Because they are going to get that body parts break return basically one day. Wherever basically they might be, they will get the return one day. So just a minute. So one person told that you can't purchase the land in world. That is displayed by UAE. So like this basically each and everything basically is displayed by the Bollywood group basically. Whatever system basically is created. So one person told that system basically gets created first or basically the rules, everything basically gets passed first. What actually happens first? Because the system basically whatever things basically you create that is supposed to be adjustable in front of the public basically that. And what public like cricket, public like movies, public like serials, public like books. So that all are the stuff basically. And on the base of that basically their brain basically are created. One person basically told that he always sits at the office basically. He is one of the CEO and vice president basically. He have basically lots of responsibility, complete the project, delivery head responsibility is there. He basically need to collect the payment from the clients, then basically he need to get the new business. So lots of responsibility are there. So he always is basically in the office only. So his brain basically is connected up to what? Software company level. So whatever software company is getting the power, on the base of that power basically is getting the brain creation. So his brain creation is happening how? Through the power supply. And that power supply is coming from where? That we have already discussed. So you can just imagine one of the person told that yeah, there is difference between owner and employee basically. That we have already discussed. So you can just imagine basically up to what level the stuff basically are running. So one of the person basically told that actually we have the information that basically we are getting power supply from this power company, that nuclear company, that energy company, but they are getting from data basically from land that also basically we know, but for exact land basically that we also don't know. Exact land basically data that we also don't know. Then basically the power software company basically started investigating. Where from where basically we are getting the power supply that is must basically we should know basically. So that we can plan in advance basically. So that we can plan in advance. So that we can plan in advance. So just so one person basically told that yeah we actually have the idea basically that nothing basically happens automatically. But the power basically is getting from that land basically that basically so this is major difference between owner and company employees. Company employees basically gets data from power from that thousand cities, and company owner basically gets data from. So see the chaining systems is land is giving the idea to that Microsoft employee, that Microsoft owner basically. Microsoft owner basically is giving the ideas to his main employees. The his main employee basically is circulating their ideas basically, which was connected by the company owner. That was the Microsoft owner. They collected something and then basically they circulated the stuff basically to other employees with the permission of company owner, because he have to check everything basically. Whatever thing basically ideas they have got, they connect to their expectation, because ideas they are getting from employees are getting idea from where? Thousand cities. And company owner basically is getting idea from where? This lava land. So see the connection. What is this here basically? What actually this is? That is the question basically. That question basically arrives. What is actually this? Somebody is checking that basically something. Just somebody is checking something basically. What actually is this? So one person told that that might be possible. Yeah, basically. One person told that we will take that land of Microsoft and we will dump here, and we will say that basically by Microsoft Banja. That is possible. That basically is the magic basically. That is the magic basically. That only the universe group basically can say. And they basically will say that basically they have created, they basically dump collected a few land, and then basically they dump into one of the area, and then basically they told that by Microsoft Banja means create the land basically. Create the Microsoft basically. That is possible in real world basically. That only happens in the movies basically. But they have displayed it basically. Yeah? They have displayed it basically. in the movie. That is the main thing basically. They have displayed this basically magic in the movie. So you can just imagine basically up to what level the creation basically are connected. So one person to that's very dangerous thing, yeah, basically. That is very dangerous thing. So this earthquake basically, one of the person told that Microsoft land is there, SAP land is there, Salesforce land is there. So all power supply is coming from that land. So there basically the earthquake doesn't happen basically because anything, any process basically are doing to any of the object, something basically gets affected. For example, I am drinking this water. I am doing this, drinking this water. So something is happening inside the water also basically. So same way basically, when the lava creation group basically has created that lava data, they also basically updating the lava data. How basically they might be updating that basically they might be some technology. So their updation is happening. So how they exactly pick the Microsoft here basically that is the main thing basically. How the changes basically gets, how basically this group basically gets the information that this area is the Microsoft land. That is not basically magical thing. That is strange basically you can say. Up to this level, the creation basically has done, and this is just a power of Microsoft, SAP, Salesforce. The entire world is created. Entire world is basically connected. Basically, entire world basically is getting power supply from because India is getting power supply from Canada. Canada is getting power supply from Italy. Italy is getting power supply from Europe. Europe is getting power supply from UAE. UAE is getting power supply from South Africa. South Africa is getting power supply from Kenya. Kenya is basically getting power supply from Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is getting power supply from Malaysia. Malaysia is getting power supply from Singapore. So like this, basically the entire chain is connected. So same way somebody has created this lava data. The world has created basically. So how does everything basically changed basically? How the entire creation is changed basically? That is the main thing basically. That is the matrix of Earth planet, which is already done basically. Now basically you say that basically this is the error, then basically you can't do anything. Basically. You have to leave this world only. Basically. But sometimes basically some people say that basically the season departments handles the stuff basically. So you can just imagine the season group basically are doing the process. Basically. They are doing the huge process. But major error basically never happens. If major error happens, then basically the universe group only basically disappears that land basically. That basically you will never able to track only basically that. You can't track only basically that error. So that's why one of the person told that Microsoft basically is getting the power supply from that particular land. So where is that land? From where basically is getting the ideas? Where is that land basically? And who created that land? In front of the world it is South Africa, but in real basically it's not South Africa. Some group basically has created it. So just a minute. Some group has created it. So you can just imagine basically up to the level of stuff basically which is created. So one person told that yeah basically that's the huge creation basically yeah, which is already done basically. That is the main thing. So Microsoft employees getting the energy from that thousand cities. SAP group are getting their energy from that thousand cities. Salesforce group are getting the energy from that thousand cities. This everything is done with. Everything is done. That is the main thing basically. So the people who are basically having good knowledge, they basically are sitting at home basically. But the people who basically don't understand this thing also basically, they are having the good post, vice president, CEO, project manager, software delivery heads. But this is the main thing of IT industry basically. After that, basically the software comes, Microsoft, .NET, project management plan, PMP, then the project management plan template, scope management, quality management, communication management, scope level management plan, risk management plan, project specification plans, sign off mail plans. So every plans basically comes after some time. So first basically you have to understand this. So that basically is a Microsoft group basically. If we basically can think up to this level, so they are basically handling the billionaire company basically, crores of company basically there. Their basically turnover basically per day basically is more than 100 crore. It's dollar basically or rupees, that basically need to check. But see basically the turnover also basically. If the turnover of company basically is like this, so their thinking also will be like that only basically. That we are not supposed to tell them basically, that you please go and basically collect that sand data basically from where basically you are getting the power supply ideas. On the base of that only basically you are going to use your brain basically. So that's very dangerous thing. Yeah. One of the person told that that's very dangerous thing. So first basically they picked that sand area, and then basically they went for the group basically who created this land basically. But to reach up to the land only basically it's very tough. So to reach up to the land lava creation group basically that's more tough basically. That's more tough. Just it's a tough basically. But it's a Microsoft. They basically have earning basically more than 100 crore basically per day. So it's a huge amount. And the normal person basically like me basically, I can't earn also. I can't earn 500 rupees also. So you can just imagine basically how the world is created. Somebody has created this world. The knowledgeable person basically not able to earn the money. Rest of people basically earns the money. So that is basically we can't do anything basically of this. We basically can't do anything because everything is created. Now basically what you can do basically tell. That is the question basically. So one person told that Microsoft Sand is created, Salesforce Sand is created, SAP Sand is created. Their ideas are generated there. They basically has created the cities, thousand cities. From thousand cities, basically the employees are getting the ideas. So it's a huge process basically which is done, and that is basically done in good manner also basically, because they are creating the human needs also. They are creating tomato, they are creating the potato. The Bollywood is telling that basically we are have basically tested that tomato group basically, whoever basically is going to eat tomato potato basically their thinking like basically will be like this within this boundary, and they basically checks also. So you can just imagine basically how the stuff basically are created. So you can't imagine basically, that is the main thing. One person told that it's very difficult to imagine also basically. How basically you can imagine this basically? Somebody created the Microsoft Lava data, and that basically lava data which basically is dumped into that land, that basically Microsoft is thinking basically. So the Microsoft thinking is coming from this lava data, that is the sand basically. So this is basically how one person basically can think this. That is basically one thing, that is the main thing. So just a minute. So one person told that how the great thinking is basically. how the creation is thinking. So just we will discuss in later video.